that Trump wouldn't hesitate to blow him up if it allowed him to protect his own hide. I think it really depends on the seriousness of this investigation. What kind of potential charges come along down the road, and then what are the possible criminal penalties associated with that. And that's the kind of stuff that Alan Weisselberg's going to weigh. But I don't think he'll be loyal to Trump in the end, no.
And you are one of the few people who's ever sat in a deposition and been able to depose Donald Trump, and this was over him lying about his net worth, and you tell the truth about it, and him being upset about that. Does this come down to Donald Trump upping the value of his empire, which he basically gutted, of his father's empire? He took it and, sort of crashed it. Or is it about him lowering the value of his empire not to pay taxes, or is it some combination of both? What are we talking about here?
It's a combination of both. It's him going to bankers and saying, this piece of property is worth $400 million, and I want a loan against it. And then telling a tax assessor or someone else that it's worth half that amount because he wants to keep his tax bills low. That's a very simplified version of the kind of stuff that's in play here. I think also making claims to insurers that he's had extensive damage as a property like Mar-a-Lago when in fact he hasn't, and getting tens of millions of dollars in payouts for those that he might not have been entitled to. Money laundering is certainly going to be something they're looking at here. Trump has had intersections with organized crime figures since his 20s. Donald Trump turns 75 next month. He has 55 years of intersections with nefarious people who's oftentimes resided in his buildings, who he did business with up until he was president. And in one of the, still some of the unplowed territory in the Trump story is the extent to which everything he did in the White House was financially motivated. And it was disappointing that Mueller didn't go down that road enough, but you now have two New Yorkers who are. And I think the more they ferret out the financial issues, I think you're going to start to get a lot of things explained.
Everything about Donald Trump is very Jonestown. I wonder what sort of havoc he'll wreak on his now cult once he starts really going down. It's going to be interesting to watch. Tim O'Brien, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you. And up next, well, as we prepare to mark the centennial of the Tulsa Race Massacre, the Republican freakout over teaching children the true unvarnished history of this country takes on special significance. Tonight's absolute worst is next. Stay with us.